Hi, I'm Victor Kane with DemystifyingDev. It's what we want to do. So we already have our backend Dockerized. We saw that in the last video, Strapi Docker Composer example. And thanks for all the comments and subscriptions. I feel very encouraged and inspired by all of the feedback. So that's running locally. We have our tags, various content types, right? Remember that the content types are now called collection types. We have articles, we have authors. Okay, this is running Dockerized on our system. We can see in the terminal how anytime we do anything, we can see exactly what's going on. So if let's suppose we go to roles and permissions and to public, we can see exactly how Strapi is doing this, get, and make something available to the public. So let's say, just for dev's sake, find, right? And when we do that, we can see what the route is. We can see all of this when I actually changed permission roles. We can see that going on here. Great. So our backend is fine. Now, what about our front end? A Next.js front end. This is the official with Bulma example and Dockerized. So we want to show you today in this short video how we got that set up. We have our Next.js application in its own little app directory. For our pages, we have _app.js. We've got our typical setup for all pages, importing the Bulma project here. We're just wrapping everything with the Bulma import. Then we have our index page, which invokes a layout component. So we have a contact form page, isn't that cool? And we'll see the form, how that works. The about page. Okay, great. And we have a package JSON, of course, where we're importing our dependencies here, setting up our dependencies. So we have a home page, we have an about page. We have a contact page. So how do we Dockerize this? If we take a look at our code again, we have a Dockerfile, and we also have a docker-compose file. We just have 3 entries. We have the docker-compose file, we have the app, and we have the Dockerfile. Now the Dockerfile basically is very straightforward. From node 12 Alpine, we're going to take that and we're going to make a directory for our project, and that's the work dir we're going to be using. We're then just going to copy the package JSON into the working directory in the Docker container. We run yarn, which is going to install all the dependencies, expose port 3000, and then just run in dev mode. Great. Now, given this Dockerfile, we invoke the Dockerfile, right, in our docker-compose file. Basically, we want it for our network so we can talk to our backend. So what do we have here? The build is in the Dockerfile. That's straightforward. The ports, 3000. The first volume is just going to say, hey, all of our stuff here, all of our development in Next.js, right, is going to be shared with user source app. So we have it in our local directory on our laptop, and it's also inside. So there's no need to actually do any copying. Our source code is in our laptop and it's running in the Docker. That's really cool. What is more, as we'll see, as it's running, when we make changes, they're reflected immediately. And with the hot module reloading, we see it right away. What we don't want to see are the node modules. So we have those hidden by simply setting up a volume so no one gets confused. Everyone knows that the dependencies are in the Dockerized system and not in the laptop. And then the same goes for the .next working directory for Next.js. We specify for the awf-next service the home. How do we even know what this is called? In the backend Strapi project, we also have a docker-compose file, right? It's a lot more involved because it's got the Mongo service, it's got the Strapi service, and it's got its network. And yet, in the front end, this Dockerfile names the other network with the project name prefixed to it. And how do we even know that? Well, we know that from the docker-compose docs, right? The official docs tell us that, how to use a pre-existing network, right? And it says very straightforwardly that you're going to have the other network as project name default. We can see that for ourselves. So we say docker network ls. We have a lot of them going on here on my machine, but the one we're looking for is this one. And it's saying that the awf-app-network, which is created when we actually run the backend first. We get the home page, backend, awf-app-network, network. So that's the name we have to use. And that's the name we're using. We're saying that the service, AWF Next, wants to use this network, and we're specifying from the high-level key networks that it's external. That's all we have to do. If we say docker-compose PS, we can see that AWF Next is up, our front end is up. So we're going to say docker exec interactive terminal AWF Next, right? With bash. No, it doesn't have bash because it's Alpine, so we'll have to go with the shell. And we do. And if I say ping hello, it will just say, I don't know what you're talking about. But if I say ping AWF Strapi, that works. Why? Because we are able to locate and we're able to talk to other services. I can also go to Mongo if I want, which opens up interesting possibilities. Great. Let's have a look at that hot module loading. So let's go to our actual front end running. Here we are. Let's change the wording in the welcome. In order to do that, let's go to the code. Let's get rid of the Docker files. And in the front end, what we want is layout. Because layout says welcome to Next. So welcome to the all new Dockerized Next. Okay, so we save that. And there it is. It's done. Let's have a look at the logs. In the front end log, it recompiled as we made our change. And we were able to see that right away. Now, let me show you something in the configuration that I had to do in order to make that possible. And we will be making the code repo available, of course. In the next config, it turns out that to make sure that we get hot module reloading, HMR, we have to put in the watch options for Webpack. If you've got your module exports already, you just add this section to your existing next.config.js. And of course, this piece of information didn't fall from the sky. It's right here in the Webpack docs, watch and watch option, mentioned by many people. It's right here, a set of options used to customize watch mode. And there it is. That's what we added ourselves. And that's how it works. Let's change it back because we can, right? And let's change back right away. So now we're all set to go. In the next few videos, we'll be developing a front-end app that actually consumes the Strapi backend and hydrates its components, right, in an authenticated manner, using JWT and secure HTTP-only cookies. So that's something to look forward to. So we'll see you soon with Demystifying Dev with Victor Kane shortly.